Hi, superstars, and how you guys doing up? It's Adedayo David Adenuga here, and it's so good to have you guys join me on this channel. Welcome to the Musicians Talk Show, and with me in the studio today, I have Moses Eze.
Hi guys.
All right, so before we get right into the conversation that we have today, Moses Eze is a good friend of mine, and I actually consider two people to be genius in this world. Firstly, Moses Eze, and secondly, the guy behind the camera. A big shout out to Kachi. All right, so Moses, we've had several conversations around, what are the essential tools musician needs to have before thinking or venturing to being a full-time musician, full-time musician. But before we go right into that, we'd like to share with us, a bit about yourself. Who is Moses Eze?
All right, my name is Moses Eze. I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a music producer, I'm a sound designer. I mix and I master as well. I do quite a lot of things in my field, right? But I'm just stop there for now. As we go in this conversation,
Absolutely. Like I said, Moses is actually a genius. He does everything excellently, right? So, what was it like for you? I mean, getting to discover yourself to be a person of music. What was it like? The foundation.
Good question. So music for me, I discovered that music was my thing a long time ago. Like sometime back, my mom would, take me out when they have combined programs with other branches of their church, and then we go out in a bus. Because my mom knows that, I sing in the house and not most of the times. Nice. So she takes me along, and then in the bus while they are moving, and then my mom just goes, Moses Buabu. Like, Moses sing, that's what it means. Like, Moses sing, she's just pushing me, sing. So I'll be reluctant, but then sing. She keeps saying, and then I'll just go.
Wow.
Posting my heart, sing it and lead those people in worship till we get to where we're going. So there was that. And, as time went on, sometime in 2006, 2007, I think I was 11 years old then. Okay. My mom, there was a neighbor we had, she gave birth to, she had the twin, right? So she gives our family one of the babies to take care of the baby sometimes, right? So there was a day that baby was just with me alone in the house, and we had a tape recorder, right? That tape recorder, just small radio that you can put in cassettes. That's this red tape recorder.
Yes, I remember.
So that baby at some point that baby started crying. I heard the cry of that baby. I said, this would be nice to record. Wow. So I should have been petting that baby, but I just picked the tape recorder, and there was this cassette that was there. They had that music on it. So,
type B.
Yeah. So I started recording that baby's cry in patterns. Like I press record the cry of the baby. Then the track will play again at some point. I'll press record again to record again. And then after that pattern, and then I played back. So when I played back, the music will sing at some points to break for the cry to sound. And then it was patterned. So these things had been happening over the years. So I knew that it's either music or nothing.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I've given you two sides of me, like the singer side, the producer side.
The producer side,
right
from the foundation.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, honestly. So at what point did you decide to go fully into music?
Okay, so good question. So my dad, wonderful man, he really tried. He wanted us to, go to the best schools and all of that, but we couldn't. Right? But where I could do it was secondary school. So that secondary school, that video that went viral, that the man was like, I no go front, I no go back. I couldn't go front, I couldn't go back. I was just standing, I was like, okay, what do I do? I knew that music is something I have to do, right? Music for me is not something I decided to do. It's something I discovered that I should do, right? So I knew that was the next step for me. And my dad fought me for quite a long time, and that opposition was so strong that it almost stopped me from doing it. there was nothing else I was going to do. He wanted me to, go learn some trade or whatsoever, but he was not in whatever I was thinking at that time. My thought process, I was very young, and so at some point, the opposition was so much, I had to leave the house. That was my first step in becoming a full-time musician.
Wow.
I left the house, and mind you,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Disclaimer to everybody out there: this is not us telling you to leave your house.
Yeah, please. This is a personal experience. So
Absolutely.
what I'm sharing with you, whatever makes sense to you, pick it. You don't have to pick everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was my first step into being a full-time musician, because for me, that opposition would have stopped me in a way, where I knew that if I stayed there, I won't be as much as I am now, right? So that phase, life is in seasons,
absolutely.
right? That season, I needed it in my life. I needed to just get out of my, like Abraham,
leave your father's house. All right, and that's literally rare, right? So I can literally relate to like your story, and it's an amazing one. I'm definitely sure there's somebody out there who needs to hear all of this, right? So now let's get to the meat of the matter. Yeah, the bottom part. Yeah, Father Lord, thank you. So, what are the things with your years of experience of being a sound designer, music producer, artist, songwriter, everything, right? So, what are the tools musicians need in their arsenal?
All right. So, speaking of tools, right? So, one of I'll list a couple of things right now. One of the first things would be joining the right community, while coming up as a musician and all that. Because truth is, you may not have a successful musicianship without the right community.
Association.
Yeah, the right association. You need the right people who knows, what's going on, what's happening in the season. Because there are seasons. You might be singing, you might be enjoying music from your childhood.
I get that.
Meanwhile, music has moved. You understand? So
music is highly progressive.
Every there are different seasons. So now, as you go up, that community, find the right community. It can be a church choir, it can be a group somewhere, it can be a group of professional musicians, it could be people who play the same instruments you play. It could be, there are communities, there are different kinds of community you can get yourself into. So that's about community. Join the right community. Then you should get training.
Wow.
Get trained. Because one of the I tell people that you will, for your level where you are, and this is for people who have studied music, like music theory, like we did. We studied music for 2 years. So for people who have studied music and they understand music theory and all that, music theory gives you a relationship with music. You understand music to the language level. That music becomes like a language to
Absolutely.
you. When someone is playing an instrument, other people are hearing sounds, but you are hearing different. You are hearing notes. You are hearing different.
The components. What makes it up?
You're hearing a lot of things. So and what I tell people is, music theory at your level. If you understand music theory, it should put you like 10 steps ahead of other musicians at your level who don't know music theory. You understand? Yeah, at your level. One of the mistakes people make is when you tell people and then you start hearing things like, how many music theory Burna Boy they do? Burna Boy is not at your level, man.
Absolutely.
If Burna Boy meets an artist that is at his level, that understands it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You get it.
So at your level, your understanding of music theory, don't throw it away. You need it. It puts you 10 steps ahead because your understanding of music, the way you communicate musically
is beyond what you can hear.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you can read, you can interpret, and also you are not deaf. You can hear and also interpret.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I'm with a group of singers and then maybe there's an accidental, right? In the melody, right? And then they go maybe let's take a simple song. Are you going to Scarborough Fair Fastly say just marry and time. You know, some people hear such notes like that and they'll be like, I want a minor come back. But in the real sense, that's a major movement. Like it's major, it's not minor. But because well, you know, and you know, so you now have to, you know,
everything that sounds outflat is minor. Minor.
so you know, and those kind of things are for you that you understand music and understand that's a minor movement. That's a major movement. You know what to do when you have that kind of chord movement in a song. You understand? Other than it being vague in your head, it's minor, we can't do anything about it. You understand what I'm saying? So music becomes a language to you. Right? So that point I gave you, your understanding of music theory will put you like 10 steps ahead of other musicians who at your level who don't understand it. So get training as much as you can. Get training. You could go to a school, you could learn from
online, University of YouTube.
Online, YouTube is, oh my God.
University of YouTube.
There's nothing you can learn on
YouTube. University of YouTube. So Moses, in terms of mentorship, what advice do you have for musicians? Do you think having a mentor is actually an hack to getting things like easier and faster?
Good question again.
Thank you.
So, mentors, I'll say it this way. Mentors are men that take you on life tours.
Can I say that again?
Mentors are men that take you on life tours.
Actually, I need to say this. Musicians are really intelligent.
Okay. Let's go. All right. So mentors, and in the words of my father, Reverend Olushola, you say what you learn from the gifts that older people can give you is gift of hindsight. They've been there. They've been there. So the best gift they can give you is to walk you through it.
Absolutely.
So these people you can't downplay the part of what a mentor should do to you. I have the mentor that really changed the game for me in my life.
The game changer.
When I met, it was my game changer.
Wow.
Right? I'm going to bed short this day. Just relax. So I met him at a time when, I wasn't so sure. Like everything was just like, I could do a lot of things. There are a lot of things I do. So how do I streamline? How do I bring all these things into place that I'm stable?
Wow.
Like people know that, this guy, this is what he does. All right. And then I met Mickey Mijoses.
Yeah.
Mickey Mijoses is arguably the best in this country.
Yeah.
In Africa. Arguably the best because when it comes to production, mixing and mastering, studio and live and everything, Mickey took me at that stage in my life when I wasn't really sure, like, what's the way to go about this thing. And then he took me, like, for a couple of months. I was at this place, was, training me and showing me the way to do it. There are ways I was producing and doing all these things that, they are just things that you learnt out of maybe some of them YouTube, some of them you just learnt by yourself, by the fact that you are a musician.
Yeah.
The fact that you understand some things music. Yes. I remember when I said your understanding of music theory puts you ahead, right? Absolutely. There are just some things you already know as a musician, right? But having a mentor that took me through the route of how production should be done. And now this is a mentor that mentored me in production, right? But he didn't stop there. Making me is a weird man. He can call me like 3 a.m. Moses, why are you not posting music? What's happening? You are not doing anything. I'm not seeing anything online. I'm like, do you understand? So these people are people that will put you in check. They're like accountability partners for you, right? They make sure that you are not making the same mistakes they made.
Thank you. And also, they don't just see you for who you are, but for who you can become.
Who you can become, right? These people and the right mentors will not be intimidated by you.
Absolutely.
Right? The right mentors won't be intimidated by your
becoming.
Your becoming, what you're becoming. They see you becoming great and they're happy for you. They applaud you, right? And that's what makes them happy. So you should be grateful if you have people like that, and you should actually look out for mentors, right? Look out for it intentionally. The right mentors will take you on life tours.
Yeah, absolutely. So to add to your point, Moses, about mentorship, right? I remember studying a book of recent, Money Brain. One of the things that stood out for me from that book was the part that was talking about mentorship. Then he said, he gave 5 different levels of mentorship. Yes, I think. But what stood out for me was the fact that he said there are a lot of people that are already mentoring you already. But just the fact that you have not chosen to accept them for the road you are doing. For example, it can be an uncle. For example, it can be somebody in your field of study. I just wanted to add that to it so you guys can just understand that perfectly. So to the next question, Moses, what do you think about music when it comes to sustainability? Most people say musicians are every young, but for one, I think music is actually an underrated, field of study. I mean, or craft, because I feel like a lot of people get to look at music like it's
And
not
musicians.
to be when it comes to the other field of study, let's say medicine, banking, and all of those stuff like that. So I think to some extent, based on the patterns that has happened over time, I feel like music has been underrated, most especially the people that do music. They've been underrated. So what do you have to say to that? Is music literally or really lucrative?
Well, I'll start answering that question by going through how music has been viewed over the years, right? Someone like me, that my father didn't want me to do music initially. It's definitely from the viewpoint of musicians being drug addicts, musicians being, just people living their lives, humanizers, doing whatever they want, and because they have money, right? They have the fame, so whoever they call, they can do whatever they want and all that. So it made musicians look like irresponsible people, quote unquote, right? So you have to decide who models for you. You have to decide who models for you, right? So the quality of, this is my father's words now, the quality of the young people, or let's bring to musicians now. The quality of the young musicians that we have now, the younger musicians now, is dependent on the quality of the leaders they are looking up to.
Absolutely.
Who are those in front of the screen, right? Who are they looking at, right? If you are looking at people who just smoke on the screen, or who just, now music videos now is pornography on screen. I mean, secular music videos. So, what I'm saying is, if those are your models, that's what you will become.
Because what you see and what you hear is what you become.
Yeah, that's basically it. Because if that's what you'll be looking at, you better change it, because you don't want to become a musician that is not a good example to the younger musicians coming up, right? So there's that. There's also the place of so let me that's viewing the viewpoint of what people saw music as, or what people have seen music as over time. Now, for us, what can we do? From my experience, I've been talking more from my own experience and all that. So one of the major things would be to have good friends, right? Good friends that you all will have like the same mindset and the same view when it comes to music, and your goals are not so far from each other. Do you understand? You aim that they view you as musicians that, oh my God, there's a joke we usually crack that we are billionaire musicians, right? We are saying it like into what we see where we are going, right? We see where we are going. So we call ourselves billionaire musicians because we know this is where we are going, and we are not just trying to have all that kind of money for us to go and be smoking or for us to go and humanize or whatever, right? We are trying to create platforms for other people to express their own, express their own skills and whatever they have in the music space, right? So that's for I think that's it, goes back to community, right? Yeah, but so having the right people around you. So another thing is expanding yourself, right? Expanding yourself and not just being just one thing as a musician, right? Expand your abilities. These are things that can sustain you as a musician as you go on in life, right? Because being a full-time musician is not just playing piano and that's all.
Ooh, yeah.
Being a full-time musician is not just playing the guitar and that's all. You understand? So I'll read a scripture now. It's Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 in NET version. It says, divide your merchandise among 7 or 8 investments, for you do not know what calamity may happen on the earth, right? Personally, I started out as somebody that is just that his mom is just forcing him to sing in the bus, right? And then all of a sudden, my mom would just hear me sing while I'm sweeping, and then she's like, "This boy is singing better than the choir in church. You should join the choir." That was how I joined the choir. Before I know it, I was already playing instruments in the choir. I started out playing the saxophone. I went on to play the trumpet. I went on to play keyboard, right? From there, we moved on, and then moved on to playing the guitar, right? I played the guitar. Then after I started learning music production sometime around 2014, because I went out to produce my music, but they were not doing it. They were not doing what I wanted to hear, right? So all I'm just saying now is just expand don't put a cap on what you can be, right? What you can be as much as you can be. You can be as much as you want to be. So what's on your own mind, right? Expand your abilities, expand. Because
that's amazing.
You don't know, what calamity may be on the earth.
Yeah. So when it comes to the place of having a vision, for some people, I think they get to like discover purpose or have a clear vision of themselves along the way. But for you, sharing your background and all of those stuff, you literally had a mom who saw something inside of you. Because I've been a little seed that she was sowing inside of you, but that has literally transformed into like who you are right now. But to other people out there, what do you think? Do you think people really need to prioritize having a vision for themselves? I mean, I'm asking this question. Everybody's like, you're supposed to get vision normally now. But you know that I think there are a lot of people out there who doesn't even know what vision is about.
A lot of them, they don't even know what they want, right? And what happens when you don't know what you want? You help people get what they want, and you keep helping people get what they want. And that's what you do. You're making money, but you're helping them get what they want. So when you don't have a vision, it means you don't have what you want to do, right? You in turn be helping people get what they want to do.
Wow.
Right? You just see that your life is going in a cycle, right? Just in a cycle. You play for this artist as maybe you're an instrumentalist. You play for this artist for some certain season. The next season, this artist have moved on with higher people. You understand?
Using your own resources, your intellectual properties, and everything to build a better legacy for themselves. Because you're thinking. No, wait, let's go.
Okay,
let's go.
Your vision has to be clear. Clear what you want to do. The more you see, there's something my friend here does, Tayo, that really inspired all of us as friends. We are a group of friends. Like Tayo would put. We understood Tayo's vision than our own vision, because it was directly on the wall. We see the paper on the wall. We always see it. We always wake up in the morning. He's reading. We didn't understand much back then, right? So and I saw him these things. So he read his vision in my ear. His vision was in my head than my own vision at some point in time, and that was something I learned from him, right? And I started doing the same thing at some point, and he made my vision clear to me. I wake up in the morning and I know that this is where I am going. It means that when I have an achievement today, it's not yet what is in the vision. It's not yet what I want to become, right? So I know that, okay, this is it. It's just a juncture, right? We have gotten this, praise God, put it there. We keep pushing. We never stop. You understand? So when you have no vision, you might just see something very little. God might be planning a mansion for you, and then you find yourself in a one-room apartment, and then you have arrived. Or one room is maybe it's too small. Maybe God is planning a mansion for you, and then you find yourself in a duplex or a 2-bedroom flat. I'm like, wow, this is it. This is the life. Wow, this is it, Lord. No, bro. So your vision puts you in check. your vision puts you in check, and it makes you not relax for the little things.
That's amazing. So if just to add this question, right? Basically, and it's quite personal. So I really, appreciate if you can just share this with us and with the entire world. I mean, it's a global world there, right? So, for you, basically, was there one thing that you wish you did better when you were younger? Or is it that there are several things that you wish that you did better?
Well, one thing I would say is I wish I had more control of my self-esteem when I was much younger, right? Because it made me, I didn't believe in what I had. I knew that God had something for me to do musically, right? That was there, but circumstances and a lot of things that I wish I had. I used to think that, because I didn't have these things, let me just code it that way. Because I didn't have these things, I thought others were better than me. So when I see other people and seeing how they are able to do things, I'm just coding these things, right? So I felt like, I'm just below, right? There was a time I was working in a school. I was teaching somewhere, and this guy that I was working for, he saw me one time. I can't really remember the whole scenario and everything that happened that time, and then he just told me something and said, the way I'm looking at you don't look like someone that will make it in life. Right? And that really shattered
the small is still with the finish off.
Do you understand? Like, if I had some more control over my self-esteem, I feel like I would have even done better than I have done now. But I trust that God is helping me, right? So that thing really, really, really affected myself. That particular thing that happened there affected my self-esteem, and I started seeing myself like, am I up to it? So it made me, I wasn't bold about my abilities, right? I see people that what they're doing, I do better than them. But I'm just like, well, So, but I think God has really helped me now. God has really helped me. No, I'm the best at what I do. God has really
Moses is a genius, guys.
You know what I'm talking about?
Honestly, so just to put a reference to what you just said now, if you were part of our, live audience online at the Be Authentic 2023, Moses was the genius behind all of the art, the sound design, and he was even part of the artist for the day. So Moses is an amazing guy, and like he said, I'm so glad of who he has become today because God is really using his man.
My journey is quite an interesting one, and I hope to have a movie, a full feature film of my life journey. So you know what I'm saying? All the stories, the hidden stories and everything.
Absolutely. Saying that, I think we can share a bit of this with people because we are people of faith. And what's your concept on, speaking prophetically over yourself?
Oh, wow. So, words are emissaries, in the words of my father. So Absolutely. Your words shape who you become eventually. What you say over yourself and what people say over you. Right? What people say over you. Something happens jokingly, or maybe not jokingly, myself and my friend here. So we're just joking and we're just talking around like, bro, serious. I'm like, I serious. That's all I gotta say. So, these little things, the words you speak about yourself, you need to speak positive words over yourself. Wake up in the morning, I am great. I am successful. I am a billionaire musician. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I am phenomenal. I am, speak these things to yourself. It sets you up for a great day.
And most importantly, for somebody out there who is thinking, am I even handsome? You are handsome,
bro. You
can't expect, so that's that about it. And also, just to wrap it up, what you see over your life forms you, right? That's it. So, Moses, is there any other thing you'd like to share with us?
Well, if there's one thing I'm going to say is consistency is key. Right? No matter how good you are or how good you've become, if you're not consistent, the world will move on. The world moves on fast. the world moves on really fast. So your consistency will keep you as music evolves, because music is a constant evolving. What's the English?
Force.
Force. It's evolving constantly, and as you stay consistent, you are able to your works are able to you and your works are able to transcend time,
Yeah.
as it's evolving, as
Stay
it's evolving.
relevant.
Yes, you stay relevant, and then it's moving. You're moving. You are not just a musician they used to talk about, right? So consistency is key. Hold on to God. It's very important.
That's important.
In fact, that's the most important of everything we've been saying here, right? Your walk with God is very important, and that will keep you on the right path. That will keep you on the right path. Have good friends. Have friends that keep you in line with what God wants you to do, right? Because you don't want to keep friends that will just, drag you into living miserable lives, right? Speaking from experience. You don't want to have friends that will just, take you into different places that you don't want to be, and because you have low self-esteem, you just follow them. Just there, you can't speak up for yourself. And these are my mistakes, right? And this is something I would like to tell you to not get yourself into. Have the right friends. Work closely with God. It's very important. Work with God is very important, and stay consistent.
Stay consistent.
Speak the right words.
Speak the right words. So I think those are major keywords there. Speak over yourself positive words, because words are life. And also be consistent. So Moses Eze,
hi bro.
It's good to have you on this show. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's the Musicians Talk Show. Bye for now.
Bye.